So fun, worried about those scars. I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype. Throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around me, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713, then the 21, yeah, I'm riding.
Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zo knows. Now, running backs, they seem to be running back to the NFL these days. Why do I say that? Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, the man himself, who just was seen at LAX, I want to say within the past few days, 1 or 2 days ago, slapping the phone out of an autograph seeker's hand. Marshawn Lynch, you know you can't do that, big dog. You got to chill. You're a dreadhead. They'll snatch you up and take you to the pen. You got to calm down. But, granted, I understand when you're at the airport and other places like that, things among those sorts, you don't want people to evade your privacy and get a whole bunch of photos of you just walking around when you're chilling in your Louis Vuitton, your Louis Vuitton jumpsuit. You're just chilling. But you will get pictures taken of you, Marshawn, with a Louis Vuitton jumpsuit. Come on, big dog. But as far as football goes, I want to see this man back on the field. Yeah, we all became fascinated with the "I'm just here so I don't get fined" memes and things like that. But Marshawn Lynch, he just filed for reinstatement. So that means that he's trying to get back in the NFL. Now, it's going to be a little difficult, I would say that, because of the things that this reinstatement entails as far as what he may owe to Seattle and as far as what he may cost Seattle. Now, he could owe the Seahawks more than $2 million and have to give back some more cheese. Now, when I say give back more cheese, they are going to be charged $9 million against the cap. The Seahawks are, if Marshawn Lynch chooses to come back to the league and go to another team. So you may have to end up paying that $2 million, and nobody wants to just give up some money for free. So Marshawn, you're not going to find a way around this whole thing if you can't figure out a way to, I don't know, get back into the league, pay that, and then you can play for your hometown Raiders. That's where you want to go, right? You guys will be in Vegas soon. You're in Oakland right now, but you'll be in Vegas soon. So, Marshawn, I have a question for you. Can you be beast mode? Can you come into the league and be the same running back that we saw run through the Saints, that epic playoff run that replays over and over on NFL films? Can you be the guy that makes defensive players scared to take that boom? Or is he going to be the guy that comes back to training camp and takes a pop, 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 and thinks to himself, man, why didn't I just keep hanging out with Bear Grylls in his show on Man vs. Wild or whatever it was? Marshawn, we'd love to see you. You're a tough guy. But NFL, I will say to you all, this guy's he's a talent. He's a talent. So get him off the streets, get him back on TV, get him in an NFL uniform. Somebody make it happen. But Marshawn, if you come back, be the Marshawn that we're used to, and not somebody that's foreign, not somebody that's a knockoff. We want the real deal. Now, Adrian Peterson also worked out for the Patriots. They said that he looked strong and fast and looked good. Well, Adrian Peterson's going to be in shape. He's Adrian Peterson. The man's body was built for football. All you got to do is pull up some images of him with his shirt off working out, and you'll say, that man was built for football. With all due respect, AP, the Saints, they're taking a look at Adrian Peterson. Now, I think they should, just because the Patriots have already stolen a few things from them. I guess I can't say stole, but finessed a few things from them, meaning Brandon Cooks. And that's when you can do all the things that Brandon Cooks can do in the slot position and also out wide and can take the top off of the defense. Brandon Cooks was a major attribute for the New Orleans Saints. So I can look at New England and say, I don't know if I want to let you guys take my man Adrian Peterson. Maybe we should get him, because if you're interested, we should be interested, because they just stole you guys' number one weapon, New Orleans. Why would you give that up? But, hey, people make some decisions just based on things that they think are the best decision at the time. But I don't think giving up Brandon Cooks was. But Adrian Peterson, if you can get him New Orleans, get him in New Orleans so he can help out Drew Brees. So Drew Brees doesn't have to play out a bum career for the rest of his NFL eternity. The Patriots, though, if they get Adrian Peterson, you have AP, you've got Brandon Cooks, and you've got Tom Brady. You still got Slotty Pippen. I don't think the Patriots can be beaten, especially for a Super Bowl. victory, another Super Bowl, if they in fact add Adrian Peterson to this already phenomenally constructed roster. So we'll see. Saints, don't let that happen. You got to save the NFL. New Orleans, it's on you. It's on you, Sean Payton. It's on you, organization, GMs. It's on you. NBA playoff time in the association. We all knew it would get here. It's not here soon enough. People should be done resting by now, right? Well, we hope so. Celtics snagged the number 1 seed. That's the best thing that probably could have happened to, I would say that's the best thing that could have happened to Cleveland, because LeBron, let's face it, LeBron, his team has not been what we thought they would be for the entire year. The second half of the season, they were just plain bad. They stunk. They smelled worse than onions outside in the trash, and you haven't taken them out yet. They're just chilling. Right over there, the garbage man hasn't picked them up. That's how bad the Cavs have stunk this year. Now, other news that I wanted to touch on, did you all hear about Tony Romo? He almost hooped in a Mavericks game. I had a big problem with that. Mark Cuban said he talked to the commissioner, Adam Silver, tried to get a contract settled. Adam Silver said that he would not honor that contract. And I really appreciate that, Adam Silver, because Tony Romo, first of all, Tony Romo, he didn't win any Super Bowls. Yeah, he's lovable to the Dallas community. I get that. However, Tony Romo is just a football player. Yeah, you can do some fun stuff, chill on the bench, shoot a couple warm-up jumpers. Drake did it at Kentucky a few years ago. But Tony Romo, for him, if he had gotten in an NBA game, what are we saying to people? We're inviting millions of celebrities to just come out and be a player for a day. Do we really want to open up Pandora's box? Do we really want to open up that can of worms? I don't think so. Do we really want the game or Chris Brown calling up saying, hey Philly, or hey Miami, can I get in the game, the last game of the season maybe, and play I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of fame? Can we do that? You don't want to open up that box, because it should be a privilege to become a professional athlete. You don't just get to do it just because you're a nice guy or people like you. If it's not your sport, it's not your sport. But, you know, Mark Cuban, he's always been the guy to go against the grain a little bit, but he did honor the request, and he didn't do anything. He couldn't afford any fines. Well, I'm sure he could afford the fines, but you just don't want to be the guy that's putting celebrities in a basketball game who are clearly not NBA players. I mean, exhibition game maybe, but definitely not a regular season game. Now, as far as those playoff matchups for the first round, we got a lot of interesting stuff going on. Boston's the number 1 seed playing Chicago. Dwayne Wade and that team, I think they're really cheese pizza. Jimmy Butler only can do so much from the offensive end. He has his games where he's spotty, and then Mirotic, he's okay. Chicago, I'm just not too high on them. I really like Boston. I think they're hungry with Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder and Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley, the rest of that crew. Brad Stevens got them playing well. They'll beat Chicago first round. Worst decision Dwayne Wade ever made, going to Chicago because of his pride and the money, but Miami messed that up. Washington, the number 4 seed versus Atlanta. I like John Wall. That Atlanta team's good with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Paul Millsap. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been a big player this year for them. However, John Wall and Bradley Beal and Gortat and all those boys, they will find a way to beat Atlanta with speed. So I like Washington in that first round series against Atlanta. Toronto will play the Bucks. Now, yeah, you might say Toronto gave Cleveland their best series last year in the Eastern Conference, but Toronto, with Kyle Lowry just coming back and Milwaukee having the tallest team in the NBA, I actually think Jason Kidd can get the Bucks past the Raptors in the first round, and that'll be an upset. That'll be my first 6 seed over the 3 upset with the Milwaukee Bucks. And Cleveland, they're the number 2 seed. They take on the Pacers. PG, he'll have some great games and battles with LeBron. This game, I could easily see going six games, because Cleveland, they clearly have shown down the stretch that they are not this dominant domino figure who knocks everybody out once they step up to him. So I like the Cavs to win this series, but I think Paul George will make them struggle, because PG-13, he wants to be considered among the upper echelon of players. So, which he is, but to a certain extent, he wants to be held up. You know, he feels like he's maybe had an MVP season. So let's see what you do in the playoffs. Let's see that, okay? In the Western Conference, Golden State, number 1 seed versus Portland. Yeah, Portland. Portland, that's a good song. But yeah, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, they are no match for Chef Curry, KD, and everybody else. Clay, Draymond, Andre. They're not a match for those guys. So Golden State should get that done easy. I'd say maybe a sweep, get the broom out. Clippers versus the Jazz. Jazz have made a lot of improvements. I like Gordon Hayward, was an all-star this year, but the Clippers are definitely going to get that done. Houston is playing the OKC Thunder. This will be the best matchup in the entire playoffs, in my opinion. You've got MVP number 1 versus MVP number 2 candidates. Who will get this done, Russell Westbrook or James Harden? Now, Houston, they've beat OKC the last couple games. It's been they've shown OKC that, hey, we are the better team. And so Houston, I think James Harden and that versatility, that entire roster, having Decker, having Ariza, having Eric Gordon who can shoot the three, I really think Houston will just be too much for Russell, even what Russell Westbrook will do. And he's had a phenomenal year, should still win MVP, but I don't see the Thunder making it past the first round in the Beard. So they should definitely fear the Beard in that game, in that series. Spurs versus Memphis. I know Memphis has some. We never know what we're going to get out of Memphis. They win a lot of regular season games, but then they can never really get past these good teams in the playoffs. They might beat them. They play defense, but Fizdale and those boys, I don't think that they'll be able to take out the claw. Just simply because the Spurs and Greg Popovich, they're built for the playoff basketball. They rest at the right times. They've been resting for years. So let it be a surprise to some, but it shouldn't be a surprise to many, okay? Now, those are my predictions for the NBA first round. We just got to see what happens. We got to stay tuned, stay in touch with everything that's going on, every game, and I'll tell you what I can when I watch these things because I'm curious to see who's going to make it to the finals. Will it be the predictable matchup that we've all thought will happen, Golden State versus the Cavs, or will there be a surprise? Well, I will say thank you for watching the Zono Sports Show, and I'll catch you next Tuesday after some playoff action. And you know that Zonos.